Hello and welcome back to Invincible Asia. I'm George Clark and today I get to check out Patrick Tam's classic My Heart Is That Eternal Rose, released on Blu-ray by Kani Releasing. Don't forget folks, before we go any further, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, ring the bell and all that jibber jabber, and thank you very much for supporting Invincible Asia. Well, here's a movie that I am very happy to upgrade to Blu-ray because this is something I've only ever seen on VCD, and having recently just watched the Eureka video release of Patrick Tam's The Sword, and there's very few movies from this director over the course of 40 years. I think he's only directed 9 movies or something like that, but I initially picked this up in Hong Kong just before COVID hit. For about £1.50 or £2 on VCD. This gorgeous release on VCD, and now of course the quality isn't as gorgeous as the produced piece itself, but still it was great to finally see this movie. I haven't went back to it, mind you. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I've never really went back to it because the VCD doesn't really do much for me. It doesn't get me that excited. But when Kani Releasing and through Vinegar Syndrome announced that they were putting this out there restored on Blu-ray, I was very, very happy and very excited. So here we have it with some new classy artwork. As you can see, Patrick Tam's 1989 classic My Heart Is That Eternal Rose, starring Kenny B, Joey Wong, Tony Leung, Gordon Liu, and again a movie that just has always been considered one of the sort of finer movies of Hong Kong cinema. Now recently also Radiance Films have just announced that they are putting out Patrick Tam's Nomad, and as a bonus disc along with it, My Heart Is That Eternal Rose here in the UK. And of course this is a North American release, but I was wanting to see it restored of course on Blu-ray, hence why I got this. But yes, there's not a lot given away here on this. Inside is where we're going to see everything else. Now it's a very dark cover inside here. An extremely dark cover, very dark on the back as well. Now I don't know, given the light that's bouncing in here, what you're going to see, but we're going to try anyway if I can get into it. It's never easy getting the plastic off these things, but yes, I love this movie. I can't remember too much about it. I just remember thinking to myself, what an incredible piece. So I am excited now to be able to see this fully restored. And it's going to, I feel it for me, it's going to be like watching it again for the first time. This is a very, very deep coloured dark cover. The font colour itself, not the font, the text colour has that kind of purple tone on the darkness that really, I don't know, again, if you're going to pick that up, I will pull out the cover just to share that with you, hopefully a bit clearer. Inside there we have the disc and what looks like a booklet over here. I'm actually going to just slip this cover out to see if it proves to be a bit easier to read. I'll hold this up and move it about and see, hopefully there's less light reflecting, and you can see what I mean. The font, the writing is quite hard to make out on this dark cover. Inside there again, I have to say, I'm not impressed, to be honest there. I don't feel like I need glasses, but this has proven very, very difficult. We have a 2K restoration, new audio restoration, an interview with producer John Sham, an interview with actor Simon Yam on CID. We have CID episode 3, 2 Teddy Girls, and episode 14, Dawn, Noon, Dusk, Night. These are, of course, CID was a television show of which Patrick Tam would have directed some of, if not all. Underdogs, episode 3. Interesting, okay. Booklet with interview with director Patrick Tam. New art by Tom Estera III and Kong Ki. And new English subtitles. Very difficult to read, Kani. Not fond of what you've done there with that cover, to be honest. Very, very tricky. But still, a lot of exciting things to be had there. A few television episodes, which is really exciting me. That I'm guessing are the ones that Patrick Tam is behind, with the connection there. But let's pop out this booklet, of course, because it is pretty damn thick and heavy. Again, you're not going to see much on it. It's a very minimalist design here, and of course the cinematography throughout this film is stunning, and I can see why the covers themselves and the book have got the designs they do. It just kind of represents what you're going to see in the movie there, which is fine. Let me go through this book with you though quickly, and just persistence of vision. Well, that says a lot after me trying to see what was on that cover. How ironic. But yes, very excited to read this, and obviously this interview with Patrick Tam. Very, very interesting guy. Of course, that the Sword was his debut film, and prior to that he had worked in television for some time. And The Sword is incredible, and pretty much everything that he's done afterwards, he's tried dipping his toes in every other genre, so to speak. Michael Chan Wai Man there as well, of course, and he's always impressed. It's just a shame he hasn't been on to do more. He did, of course, work with Wong Kar-wai on a number of his pieces, mostly as an editor, but still great to see that a lot more of his movies are becoming more and more available on Blu-ray, which is just fabulous. Look forward to actually sitting down and reading that properly there. Okay, that's pretty much all I have to share with you. For now though, I am going to go finally check this out in full HD, which I'm very excited for. Come right back and let you know what I think. So just back after checking out the Kani releasing Blu-ray release of Patrick Tam's My Heart Is That Eternal Rose. Absolutely fecking gorgeous. What a stunning restoration. I mean, it looks beautiful. I was, of course, only able to ever see it on VCD. What an upgrade though. This is stunning. Really highlights that cinematography from Christopher Doyle and David Chung, I believe, to the full potential. It is gorgeous. And in fact, this is a really good precursor to Joey Wong's An Eye for an Eye. Very, very similar in tone. Kind of similar in her character, I suppose, and those colours that we see on screen. That itself actually came out recently from Vinegar Syndrome. You can go back and check my unboxing video for that. But this was incredible. I had such a blast watching it, and as expected, felt like I was watching it for the first time because it looked so damn good. Now, in terms of the extra features, this is where it kind of lets me down, because really, there's nothing about... apart from one interview, there's really nothing about this particular film included in those bonus features there. There's no audio commentary, which, as I said, was such a disappointment. I'd love to have done one myself, but I'd also love to have heard one over this incredible film. The bonus features do include 3 TV episodes directed by Patrick Tam, and then a couple of interviews, one with John Sham, or John Shum, however you know him, who was a producer of the movie, and Simon Yam, who actually appears in the CID episodes and not in the movie. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit of an interesting way they went with the extra features here. I'm still glad that I got the chance to see those 3 episodes from Patrick Tam. They were quite interesting. The first one was The Underdogs, the story of Ah Soon. I think this is based on a true story, perhaps real life stories. It's a nicely directed piece. These are all delivered in 4:3, kind of typical television quality, but of course presented in HD, being on the Blu-ray there. So they're very, very watchable. All English subtitles for the first time, I do believe, which is pretty good. But the Underdogs episode runs for around 52 minutes, just under 52 minutes. It's quite lengthy, very heavy on the drama. Definitely a product of its time for sure, but I enjoyed it. I have to say, it follows the life of this young man as soon as he goes from childhood through to adulthood and the struggles that he has to deal with. I quite liked it. I did. Then you have 2 CID episodes. Now these are a wee bit more fast-paced. It's delivered in the same quality, as I say, 4:3. I mean, the first one, Two Teddy Girls, it was pretty cool. Ran for just over 48 minutes in length. I mean, it was a great wee episode. It was nicely made. It was kind of gripping. We give a young Simon Yam appears in it, just ever so slightly. Some great disco hits that pop up throughout as well, which I quite enjoyed. But then Simon Yam comes back for the second episode. Although not episode number 2, it's episode number 13, I believe. So it's a wee bit later on in the series there. And this is called Dawn, Noon, Dusk and Night. Again, runs for around 48 minutes in length. Simon Yam opens it this time. A bit more of a lengthy piece for him in this, which was quite enjoyable to see. But they're broke down into 4 short stories, obviously. But again, very interesting piece. Did enjoy watching it. Very, very different, but you can see where Patrick Tam is going. And of course, when you watch his later movies, such as this and The Sword and so on, then you see where he came from and where that all began. So it is definitely worth checking these out, of course. Then you have 2 interviews, as I say, one with John Sham. Love this guy. You'll know him as Curly from the Winners and Sinners series. Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars, that kind of thing. I mean, he's a big Hong Kong star in his own right, but he's also a massive producer and has done so much more for the film world. And I do feel that this interview is one of the best I've ever seen with him. He delivers so much information on Patrick Tam, on the movies he was producing, on what he wanted to create, and the things that he had done and was behind, and it's very, very good. This is all delivered in English, runs for just over 21 minutes in length, but definitely well worth checking out for this kind of unsung legend of Hong Kong cinema, I have to say. And then you have a shorter, just under 6-minute interview with Simon Yam, delivered in Cantonese with English subtitles. Of course, he appeared in the CID show and he talks more so about that and working with Patrick Tam there. So it's short and sweet, but it was great to see there. So yes, while I would have liked to have a lot more extras based on the movie itself, such as the audio commentary, maybe a video essay, things like that, I can't deny just how beautiful this release is and how amazing that restoration just blew me away. It was gorgeous. So yes, for me, still a double thumbs up. Super glad that it's in my collection. Out now from Kani Releasing. So thank you once again for watching another video here on Invincible Asia. Don't forget you can check out hundreds of others here on the channel. You can also show your continued support by heading over to my new merch store or by checking out invincibleasia.com, where you can read my full movie reviews and follow me on Instagram @InvincibleAsia. Until next time though, enjoy your Kung Fu and I will see you soon.